Hello, how you doing? My name is Maestro Guru George Santana. What we're going to be doing in this tape, we're going to be having fun with drills. Again, drills, it can be looked at in two ways. You can take them too seriously, or you can have fun with them. The whole idea behind this tape is just to develop timing, distance, a little bit of accuracy. It's not real fighting, but if you practice them properly, they will help you in a real situation. So in that kind of context, that's how we do it in my Sala de Armas and in Diestro Escrima. That's how we practice. That's the attitude we take towards them. Again, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but we take what we do seriously, and again, we have fun with it. So just hang on and watch. All right, what we're going to start off with is a drill known as the Huba Luba. Some people know it as the Puño Sombrada. Some people know it as different drills, or shadowing and so forth. But with this drill, what is contained in this drill is some real incredible motion and movement that can be applied. It's taught in the 4-count, very benign fashion, either because people do not know or do not wish to divulge. There's a lot more involved in this drill, and what we're going to try to do today, we're going to explore some of the options that we have, how can we apply to different weapons, and how to make our left hand a really alive hand, just as alive as our right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get Scott and Jared come here. They're going to show us the basic 4-count Huba drill. Keep an eye on what it is. It's just basically simple 4-count drill. Good. It's a real simple drill. Sometimes on the second hit, they hit each stick. Sometimes they don't. Just click, 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 click. That's it. Okay, now what they're going to do now is they're going to start using their stick hand to do double hits. We'll make it an 8-count. See what they're doing? Very slow. Okay. That's it. It's taking advantage of the openings and so forth. Okay, they can hit on the outside, or they can hit to the waist on the inside as they come in. Okay, and this is just one of the versions of it. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, also, what's involved in this little drill is an empty hand version. Again, this empty hand version, it's very basic, but again, you can apply it to the blade, the knife, and so forth. I'm going to have Mike come in and Scott come in and do the empty hand version. And it's very simple, just application of the same motion and movement. Very simple. They're real simple. They can hand switch. Go to opposite sides. They can go back to the other side, the original side. Very simple motion and movement. Okay, thanks guys. All right, now, what's also involved in this, I'll try to slow it down a bit so you can see, is the fact that when you do this drill, things happen. Well, you have a left and right hand. Okay? What you want to be able to do is start off again with just using your stick hand. This time as you check, I can hit underneath, low, hitting on the inside, here, hit high. Now as I clear, I can come in and use this weapon hand to hit, but I can also have this left free hand here. I can touch them, or I can punch them, or I can grab eyes, poke the eyes, grab the hair. And as I finish my motion and movement from here, I'm also hitting here. Now what's happening here is I don't just check here. I'm also checking here, eye gouging or punching, so forth. Now as the movement continues, okay, as he comes out, I'm hitting again. Here, see with my free hand here, I can cut if I have a knife, or I can cut here and finish off the movement here. So, but in essence, what I'm doing is just taking advantage of every motion and movement available to my hands. And also, if you look on my sword and dagger tape, stick fighting tape, and rapier and dagger tape, you'll see how I apply this with espada y daga, estoca y daga, or stick and dagger, solo baston, or single stick, so forth. Real simple exercise, but the whole point being is I'm making this an alive hand. See, it's alive now. It's not just dead hanging there. It's being used for every which way and purpose available. Again, As I'm coming here, I'm also punching hard, or if I have a knife, I'm thrusting. I can also thrust up here, or eye gouge, or hair pull, and so forth. From here, I can check him down. If I want to hold him, take him down. If I want to continue the motion, I can trap him here and cut. As he's coming in to clear me, I can cut him. As he's coming up, I'm cutting. From right here, as I finish the cut here, I'm inside. So again, over here. As I'm continuing my motion and movement, I'm cutting here. As he comes up, I cut, and here. Now if you notice what I'm also doing, I'm also stepping on his leg or on his foot, trapping him here. And I continue my motion. So again, this drill is a multiple hubad drill, or multiple count. And if I have a dagger or sword, I can just clang and so forth. You'll see how it applies in my rapier and dagger tape. But from right here, from right now, this is just an advanced version of a multiple count drill. Again, I can enter if I wanted to. Finish off with a leg lock or leg break. Hitting on every angle, entering on either the motion. It's broken down into 4 motions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You add multiple counts on each count. So it makes it an 8 count, then a 12 count, a 16 count, and so forth, ad infinitum. Depending on how many hits you can accomplish within it. When you enter, I can enter either on the first motion, I can enter on the second motion, third motion, or fourth motion. Entering meaning I can penetrate the distance and finish off the opponent. Okay, so the whole idea behind this drill is just to get the timing down and get the rhythm down and so forth, and apply the different techniques. From right here, for instance, if we're doing the empty hand version of it from here, I'm flowing with it here. What that tells me is, if I'm applying the same concepts that I just apply with the multiple hits, I'm not just parrying here, I'm also eye gouging as I'm punching here. As I go to my second motion, I'm coming here, see I'm with my forearm, I'm clearing, I'm also stepping here, going to the eye gouge or hair pull as I punch. Now from right here, as I continue my motion, I'm also grabbing and eye gouging, continuing my motion, going with the elbow. Or if I finish here, as he parries from here, I continue my motion here, and come out here and go into a hand trap. Which leads us into the hand trapping. The hand trapping, the way I teach hand trapping, is a simple 4 count. If we already have an exercise, or we already have a drill, why not use that drill as a mnemonic anchor or as a memory peg? So we have the 4 count and the multiple count, why don't we just do our hand trapping from there? In other words, I have what we call a 3 and 2 key. The 3 and 2 key basically says that he'll grab my hand 3 times, I'll grab his hand twice. Within the same context of the multiple hubad drill, it'll make remembering all these hand traps easy. In other words, we have 4 count. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. From the punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with a 4 count, if you notice when we did the hubad drill, he also came overhead. And I caught on the inside and then went to the outside. So I have the option when he punches of either going inside or going outside. Okay? So what I'm going to do from here is play with both. And what I'll do is I'll have him grab, let's say for instance, in reality, if let's say I already have a knife, or if I was clearing and he was punching, I might come in here to get ready to punch. If I'm going to use the 4 count of the hubad drill in that context, when he punches, I'm going to come in here. What's going to happen is immediately he's going to grab my hand. Now he has my hand grabbed. He's going to immediately want to punch. So when he punches, I'm going to redeflect here and use that hand that he's already grabbing with and execute my own punch. From right about then, he's going to realize that he's in trouble. He'll probably let go, and I'll execute my finishing techniques. So again, it's from the 4 count. I'm on the inside, on the outside. Now I'm on the inside, and he grabs. He punches. I have to move. In reality, I'd be moving, redeflecting, and grabbing and placing here. By the time you realize that he's trapped himself, I'm already executing my technique and my punch. So when he realizes that he has, I'm already stepping in and using my elbow to finish off my technique. Okay, that's his first grab from the number 1. Now we're going to get my second motion, my number 2, he'll be grabbing my second motion again. This is my 1, and this is my 2, 3, and 4. Now, if I had a knife, or if I was just deflecting a shot with a knife, this would be my second motion. Let's say, for instance, I'm in my 1 and my 2, and he grabs. Now he has me again. The same thing happens. He's secure in his thought that he has me well placed and well secure. So he's going to punch. As he does, I deflect. And he's already well set in his strength here. He has me hard. So I let him keep that security as I trap him here with my other hand. I go immediately to my eye gouge and my elbow. By the time he realizes that he's trapped, he'll let go. That's when I finish off with my finishing technique. Again, this is from the 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's turn around. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now we're standing very comfortable. In reality, we'd be in a good position, good boxer's position, or good tri-stance, male or female tri-stance. For right now, just for practice purposes, we're staying very relaxed in a comfortable stance. So this is my 1, this is my 2, this is my 3, my 4. As I go to my 2, he grabs. He's going to punch. I move out of the way, place, eye gouge or elbow, hair grab, whatever. When he finishes, I go into my technique and finish off. If I were to have a knife or so forth, you would see what would happen. Okay, now we go to the third motion. The third motion, this is my 1, my 2, 3, and 4. Again, as I said, we're doing this for memory peg purposes. If I overextend my parry, he'll end up grabbing here and punching with the back fist. My job to do is to either use my forearm to catch it or my hand if I'm strong enough and bring it down and re-trap here. There we're in the same position now. By the time he realizes, it's too late. Okay, we just go flow with the movement. It doesn't have to be an elbow, it can be a punch, it could be your own headbutt, it could be anything. So again, this is movement 1, this is movement 2, 3, and 4. So when I get to my 3, 1, 2, 3, he collapses and he back fists. What I do is catch, bring it down, catch, and eye gouge, elbow, and he remembers, it's too late. Okay, that's number 3. Now we go back to the 2 key where I grab twice. Real simple motion and movement. This is 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, remember I can come in on the inside here. I can come in on the inside and hit here, here, here. I'll hit all over for 1. On number 2, I can hit the back and come in here. So again, this is free flow and moving. Different targets, different areas. But for practice purposes, what I'm going to do on number 1, I'm going to catch out here, just this way here. It's a real temporary, just to upset him, just to let him know that he's been caught. What he's going to do immediately, he's going to punch. Again, this time what I do is I redirect, place down. Now with the hand that I grabbed him, I just let go and finish off with a eye gouge, a punch, elbow, grab, and hold him off here. Maybe even step in over here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. On 1, he's going to feel the grab. He's going to punch, redirect, bring it down. There's your trap. There's the eye gouge, the hair grab, elbow stepping in. Okay, that's on number 1. Now on number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, I'm going to grab. He's going to punch, redirect. The hand that grabbed him, my hand that grabbed him, let's go. As I maintain control, go into the eye gouge, hair pull, so forth, and go into my technique. Once again on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, see? Punch, redirect. Same place. So the whole idea behind these hand traps is just to teach you a key. Then you switch hands, then you go to the other side. The 2 wooden knives. The whole idea behind this, as I said, is just, the idea is not to trap. You don't set out to a hand trap. You set out to react to a hand grab and so forth. You set out to finish off the opponent, to defend yourself, to punch, to cut, to whatever. If the situation comes where you have to hand trap, that's what it's for, to develop that reaction. No one ever sets out to hand trap. The same thing applies to the knife. Now the knife, if you look at my knife seminar, I'll go through this very quickly. If you want to learn more on how to apply the knife, buy the tape. If you have a Renegade tape, my number's on the back, buy a real tape, and you can give me a call. Anyway, the knife can be held in any which way. It can be held in this basic grip. It can be held in reverse grip. It can be held with the blade facing forward or out. If you have reverse grip, if you're in reverse grip, it can be with the blade facing out or facing in. In my school, there is no incorrect way to hold a knife. Even this way, you can use it for a variety of purposes. The only incorrect way to hold a knife is when it's in your stomach or in your body. But again, getting back to this drill. If I'm in this, say for instance, I'm in this position here, okay, one hand, okay. If I'm in this position here and he grabs my hand and he punches from right here with the blade, I can hand trap with the blade. When he realizes that he's trapped and he lets go, then you can finish off your technique here. See how I trapped his leg here? You can finish off. That's for my number 2. If I'm in position number 1, I'm here clearing, and he grabs my hand, and he punches, you can still hand trap here, using the blade and here. By the time he realizes, again, it's already too late. Okay? Again, that's 1 and 2. Now on number 3, if I come in here, 1, 2 to cut, and 3 to check, he comes in, I can still use the knife here. Number 3, place and cut. Again, he's going to realize it. It's too late. I'm going to be in, locking here and so forth, and coming in. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, well, actually my number 2, the 3 and 2 key, the 2 now, where I grab this hand twice. I'm going to come in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on 1, I'm going to grab from here. As I place, see where I'm at here? I come in here to eye gouge, and then immediately come up to the cut. See, I've grabbed now. So this is just immediate, simultaneous cut. Now the second one I grab, obviously I can't grab with my knife hand. So what I do, I improvise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. What I do is I bring it in here. He's going to feel now. He may want to punch right here. I'll hand trap and cut and accomplish the same motion and movement. So thank you. So you see with this drill, the hubad, the multiple hubad, you have sword and dagger, you have rapier and dagger, you have stick and dagger. It's a whole different ball game when you add the multiple hits, and that's what you want to do. You want to be able to make this an alive hand, a free hand, just as alive as your primary stick hand. Once you do that, you can apply the same concepts to the hand trapping drill, the 3 and 2 key. All right, so you have your hand trapping, you have your stick and dagger, you have your sword and dagger, rapier and dagger, and for rapier dagger and sword and dagger, check out my other tape. You get more in depth into that. But again, with this drill, the hubad drill, like I said, it goes more than the simple 4-count benign drill that most people know. Okay, so get into it, explore with it, start moving into your opponent, start circling around, maneuvering around your partner and so forth, and get a real grasp and feel of how to enter and so forth. Anyway, we're going to go on to another drill, and we'll have some more fun. Watch. Welcome back. What we're going to go through now is a drill called the decadena drill and cadena de mano drill. There are some styles that call themselves decadena. As I was taught, it's a drill, and as we teach it, it's a drill. It can be a complete system. It's a close infighting system, and when you drop the stick, it becomes cadena de mano. Decadena means of the chain, and when you say cadena de mano, you're meaning of the hand or chain of the hand. Different forms of it are taught. Some forms are just a very basic drill. It can get in depth. This drill, as opposed to, say, the puño sombrado or the hubad lubad, in this drill, the trajectory of the strikes are different. They come at different angles. And it has so many different correlations to actual fencing that I'll bring up. But like I said, fencing and European Western fencing is a very close cousin, and the birth, I would say, the father of the Filipino arts in one aspect. The mother would be the Kali. But as far as decadena goes, it's a drill that teaches rhythm, timing, and if you think of the drill as separate chains, separate links in a chain, each technique that we do is a link in the chain, and our object is to maintain the flow of that chain until we decide to break a link in the chain. That's when we have what we call the termination of the opponent. Okay, so the drill, if you catch my first tape, get my first tape on the basic drills, you'll find a good summary of the decadena drill and so forth. Get that tape, because we're going to jump right into this, and I'll show you some of the advanced concepts. So from right here, in decadena, it starts off with 4 largo mano hits, which means long-range hits. Largo mano being here, long-range hit, I'm hitting to the weapon hand, hitting to the weapon hand, weapon hand, weapon hand. And these, by the way, are what I call effortless hitting strikes. What I'm doing is I'm hitting with much more force than that. I'm striking either with effortless hitting or power strikes. These are actually, these strikes themselves could be the termination of the bout. But as we all know that most fights end up at the close range, so that's what Deca then is going to teach us. It teaches us how to finish off the fight at a long distance, but if it doesn't, then we have to come in. So from here, as we learned in our first tape, Deca then is done this way. Different motion movements, carrying the opponent's weapon across. Okay, a lot of these have correlations to fencing also. I can catch the weapon and cart. I can execute what they call precede de fer, or taking the weapon, all the time maintaining sentiment de fer, which means sensitivity of the stick and blade. I got to know where the stick's going to go, if it's going to go up or down. I have to know just by feel of the stick. That's another thing that you want to do as you develop in your abilities in the stick as a stick fighter or a blade fighter. Sensitivity of the stick and blade, knowing just by the feel of the opponent which way he's going to go. From right here, what I do is I end up checking, and then what he does is he checks my hand in turn and comes in with his puño, and what I do is I carry it out. But when you get to the advanced version of this drill, what happens is as I take him past him, I'm going to hit him with a hard wutik or abanico strike. As he comes back, I'm going to use his float and carry him out and hit him again with more hard abanico or wutik strike. From right here, as he catches me, I'm going to hit him here also. Okay? And that's just with my stick hand here. Now as we continue the motion, I'm going to hit down as I hit up, before I hit up. So again, we repeat the motion and movement, and I'm hitting him all over. Then we take it a step farther, over here. We take it another step along the way. From right here, I start using my empty hand. As I hit him here, I'm also hitting here and stepping on him. Hit. Now from here, as he checks me in, comes out, I hit him along here. As I check him here, I'm also coming checking him here and going to the eye gouge and the hair pull and so forth. You'll see it resembles a lot like the hubad, except the trajectory and the angles of the hits are different. Now they're coming from the side. Okay? One here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and thrusting here. Up. This thrust would be right up his neck. Okay? Now again, if I were to have a dagger, the cut would be here, cut would be here. Cut would be here, 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 and here, and here, and here, and here. I could finish off with what's called in fencing an esramazón, which is a cut straight down meant to split the person's face in half. Not so much to do the final damage, but to cause bleeding in the eye. So again, from here, multiple hits within, using both hands, cut, here, checking, cut, hit, stepping in, moving. Okay. Now, what happens also within this drill is that you start using strips and disarms. Again, as he's coming in from here, I have an opportunity to strip here or strip here as I hit him. Causes disarm. On the other hand, I have to be very careful, because as soon as I strip from right here, he has an opportunity to counter here and finish me off. So the whole idea behind this drill is to have fun, go take turns back and forth, try to capitalize on your partner's mistakes as you're pretending to beat each other to death. From right here, I also have a body lock. Okay, come on this side. See that body lock that I execute again? The body lock is done here as I clear. On the other hand, again, with this, he also has the counter to it. As I'm starting to execute the body lock, he can grab and hit me simultaneously as he does the counter to the body lock. Okay? I can go from here to the body lock on the opposite end, here. Now from right here, as I do that again, he has a counter to that. As I execute the body lock, as he checks me, I grab him. He can grab here and go through his own strip. There's so many different ways to counter in here. You have strips, disarms, you have body locks, you have multiple hits, you have entering. The list goes on and on and on. Then you have the dagger. You start seeing how you can keep that dagger alive, that hand alive as you use your dagger coming in here. That's just one aspect of it. As I said, it gets in depth. You can replay the tape over and over, go slow, and you can catch them all again. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's all there. It's just that there's a multiplicity of techniques that are involved in this that you can just take off. You can think of your own and come up with different things. What happens now with cadena de mano is the empty hand version. Okay? We do the same thing with the cadena de mano. All we're doing from here, we pretend patty cake. Okay, after a while, we start realizing that these are actual punches coming in. Okay, so from right here, as he throws his back fist, I come in and I clear. I come in with the elbow, he checks, he comes in with his own punch, I clear, and for right now, we just practice this. Simple motion and movement. And it's kind of like a free flow, almost like a sticky hands kind of. But the whole thing is different. We don't worry about center lines, we worry about the opponent. We'll make him succumb to what we wish. We don't stay within a rigid form. Okay? Now from right here, as we flow, we also have the same opportunities to hand trap, as you've seen on this tape. From right here, as we throw a back fist and he throws his back fist, I can punch, I can grab. As he throws his punch, we just follow with it. Okay? Either side, from right here. The same thing happens. From right here, if I grab this handy back fist, I have the same motion and movement as I enter. If I have a knife, when I'm doing this, I cut here. So see, it's a real simple motion movement. If you look at the first tape, you'll see the breakdown of cadena de mano. These hand traps, these advanced techniques are right there for you to work with. You see how I just float in with it? Again, I'll show you one more time. All I'm doing from right here, as I execute my elbow, he throws his punch, the form tells us that he's going to continue his motion, throw a back fist. As he does, I grab his other hand, check, bring it down, and come in out. I can grab either hand. Doesn't matter which hand I grab. The same thing goes if I grab the other hand, he punches with the opposite, same thing happens. Replay the tape over again, you'll see that. Okay, so you have cadena de mano and de cadena. The whole idea behind those two is to develop a flow, links in a chain, break the link when you want to execute the termination of the attacker. Okay, so like I said, the whole idea is to have fun with the drills. Okay, as I said, we don't take them too seriously. They're meant to help our timing, distance, and so forth, and our accuracy. They're not real fighting, but they help us simulate some aspects of real fighting. So that's where we take it in that context. Next up ahead, we're going to do one final drill, and I think you'll like it. Watch. Now we're going to get into a drill called sombrada. Sombrada means shade, but the connotation behind the word sombrada is shadowing. Okay, it's a real simple drill. You have three different versions actually: a beginning, intermediate, and an advanced. What happens in the advanced, it becomes free flow, and you got so many different techniques that depending on what style or what school you go to, you're going to see different variations of it. But for right now, we're going to, if you refer to my first tape, you'll see a basic form of sombrada. To refresh your memory, I'm going to have Scott and Jared just show us, remind us what it's all about. What it is a series of 10 hits, 5 on either side. Okay, and what happens is, with their free hand, you notice they're touching their opponent. That's their dagger hand. It's their live hand. Okay, very basic, very simple, just to get your coordination and get your flow down. Okay? Okay, good, thanks. Okay, with a sombrada drill, as I said, you can make it as complicated or as easy if you want. If we wanted to with a sombrada drill, we could take 2 bookends and work with the bookends that way, or wooden swords. We could also take 2 staffs, long 6-foot staffs, or we take 2 joes, 2 short staffs, and work with it. We can take almost any weapon and work with sombrada with this. What I'm going to do right next is show you how to apply it with the spada y daga, and show some other variations and counters to sombrada. Watch. Okay, now with the sombrada drill, as one of the ways we can practice it is in a spada y daga or sword and dagger mindset, or stick and dagger, bastón y daga mindset. Whichever which way you do it, the whole idea is making this left hand an alive hand. Many people call it the live hand, but for some reason when you get a dagger in the hand, it dies. It should be just as live as your primary hand. It should be able to move in every which way whether it's pairing here or pairing high here, or doing disengages and cutovers and so forth that you have in fencing. And by the way, for those terminologies and the explanation for those terminologies, get my rapier and dagger and sword and dagger tape. Okay? Anyway, from right here, when we're working with the sombrata, what's happening in actuality is I'm cutting here. As he's coming, hitting, I'm always checking, cutting the hand. If I'm not cutting the hand, I'm cutting the body. Checking here, so forth. See? Cutting across the neck. Here. And what happens is, one of the first things you start doing and when you work with sombrata is practicing miss hits. Faking out your opponent, making him think you're going to hit somewhere. Or what you can do, the other thing too, is when you're working with this, after you're cutting the weapon, you can use your weapon in place of your stick and thrust as you're cutting. From here, as I come across, I can disengage or cut over from right here. And as he comes across, same thing happens. We just keep playing with it. Okay? From right here, as I check here, I'm also thrusting. Continues his motion. Thrusting here. Dagger in place of the weapon. And just flow with it. All it is just a free flow. Free flow, just free flow. Okay? That's all it is. To play the tape over again, watch that sequence. If you have the basic sombrata, which you will if you watch my first tape, you'll have it. All I'm doing here, watch the tape over again, is just placing the dagger in place of the block, using just the dagger only and thrusting, or mishitting, making the opponent think I'm going to do one thing and do the other. Again, with sombrata, you want to be able to maneuver around the opponent. You have a strong side and weak side when you're working with this drill. When you're on your weak side, you want to back up and start using your either male or female tri-stance, or using your fente, your balestras and fleches. Those stances, again, are explained in my rapier and dagger tape. But you want to be able to maneuver and around the opponent and take advantage of the weak spots on the opponent and your partner, and just have fun with it using your dagger hand. Make sure this is a live hand now. In sombrata, this is so critical, so critical. If you don't have this, well, you just run. You know, you have to have both hands. You have to be able to have them both almost independently intelligent when you're working with the stick and dagger arts, or sword and dagger, or rapier and dagger arts for that matter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tape. I hope you enjoyed the drills. As I said, this is how the context that we practice it in my sala. And I don't take myself too seriously, but I love what I do, and I take what I do seriously, and I try to pass the pragmatic aspects of it, the serious aspects, to my students, so that they're not left with any questions in their mind as to what is applicable when and where. So in that context, I bow to you, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have fun with this stuff. Thank you.